Hey, we are back at it. What's going on, everybody? We are back
What's
at it. We are
happening?
back
What's
at it. We are
happening?
back at it.
Hey, listen, what's going on, folks? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it ain't gonna be. But
Yes.
listen, a lot has been going on. This past week, of course, we got the Diddy situation.
Mm-hmm.
With Cassie, we got the basketball player from Indiana. What her name is, Caitlin.
Yep.
What's her
Yep.
name? Said she basically had some turmoil oil in her first debut, and guess what? We're gonna talk about a few things. So
Yes. Yes. Got a lot of stuff
so
to
we
talk
go
about.
yeah, we're
We've been
gonna get
gone
into
for
it.
a few
Listen,
weeks. We have been
yes,
gone, and to all my YouTube, listen, all my YouTube followers, guys. I know you see the title, right? Don't worry about it. Rock with us. We are not talking about that again. We know we ran a lot of you guys away last time with that topic. We are not gonna run it back. We promise. But hang out with us, stick with us, man. We're gonna have some good conversation, and we're ready. It's your boy South Florida Sid. We are here. Shout out to my girl Pebbles in the background. We always have to pay homage. So at the end of the day, thank you for joining us and rock with us and stay with us for a little bit.
Again, you got Mr. Daily Insight, Mr. 305, Mr. A Million Jobs, as Mr. Gary always says, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Writer's
Yeah,
Cramp.
man.
But be sure y'all make sure y'all following us on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all those platforms. Make sure y'all following us. Make sure you got somebody that's coming along that's
Yes.
new for the first time, because we want
Yes.
to make sure that algorithm basically get us to that top so we can get that 1,000. So we can be pumping and moving and pumping. All right. So,
Yes.
bro,
Well,
this Diddy
first off, what is up with
situation.
this heat? Oh my God.
Listen,
Yo,
look, bro, you live in Florida, so we're not in the Midwest.
man.
The
I
summer's
have
coming. So why you even going there? Why
I
why
have
you
to
being in
love
that
our
state?
listeners. I am outside and this heat is killing me, but we're gonna be all right. I promise you. But my bad. Go ahead, man. I had to throw that in there, man. It is hot as the devil out here.
Hey, listen, ain't nobody tell you to pod on the outside pod. You know what I'm saying? So when
No
you're on the
fan either. I
patio,
need to buy one of those. Jeez.
yeah. Or you need to get the thing that Dion was advertising. It's an actual
Hmm.
cooler, and it's
Okay.
acts as an AC for the outdoors. So if you want to invest yourself in one of those,
I will be
then
getting one of those. You said
yeah.
Dion? Oh,
So
don't worry. I will be getting one
no,
of those.
Dion. Well, Dion didn't make it. He's basically they advertise and he's helping push it and market it.
Got
So,
you.
but Dion
Got you.
advertises. So I think it'd be good for the outdoors if you got track meets
Hey,
and all that type of stuff.
say less, man.
You know
Say
what I mean?
less.
So,
So
but
what do we
anyway,
got, man? What
listen.
do we
We're
got?
gonna briefly talk about this Diddy thing. And then Caitlin's debut. We're gonna go through this. So listen, the video has came out, right? Diddy was in a hotel. And remember, guys, I think this is back in March. I'm not March, but 2016 when the video was actually when it happened, right? We're now in
Hmm?
2024. So what's the math on that, Jason?
That basically that video is from because that video happened. They said in 2008
No,
or was it 2016?
2000. I'm sorry, 2016. Yes.
Okay, so 8 years ago. 8 years ago.
So
Yeah.
there you go. So it's 8 years ago, guys. We're now in
Yeah.
2021. So we're gonna, for those of you who have not seen the video, please go. I'm gonna try to put a link there in the comment section. The video basically shows
Yes.
Diddy, shows
Basic.
Cat. Looks like she was like,
Yes.
"Listen, Diddy, I'm
Yes.
over it. I'm walking out." So Diddy said, "No, you're not. I'm in my bathrobe." No, it was a towel. I'm sorry, it
Yep.
wasn't a bathrobe. It was a towel. He was running down the hallway like a madman, basically stopped Cassie from getting on the actual elevator, pulled her down,
Yep.
started kicking her all in the face. Then at one point, he basically sat at a table that was near the
Yes.
elevator and threw a vase that was sitting
Yes.
at the actual table. You know what I mean? So listen, I don't know what's wrong with this dude. I've had a lot of negative things that people used to say about Diddy. Diddy's this. He's a horrible person. Now this makes me realize when he was doing the what was this? Making the band, that show,
Yes.
that he was
Yes.
making him do some crazy stuff in off air.
Yes.
That he was
Yes.
doing some crazy stuff like this. So that makes me think this guy has always been this way. Honestly, social media and these different platforms are making it
Yes.
come to light. You understand? So what are your thoughts on actually seeing the
Oh
video
man.
And then here's my last point.
Okay.
He actually, they went to court. Diddy paid that money. Diddy didn't fight it.
Yes.
He didn't do anything. So me seeing the video, this is like, yo, he knew he was wrong. And then those videos where they're having interviews with the two, with Diddy and Cassie, and they ask Cassie specific questions, and everybody turned to Diddy like, yo, what you gonna say? It gave me the chills to even see those interviews and made me fear for her life. You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on the situation?
First thing that came to my mind is, man, a whole generation of people who, you know, love Diddy, who basically grew up with him. I mean, you have to understand, anybody, if you're between the ages of 39 and 43, 44, Puff Daddy, you know what I mean? We followed him from the very beginning in 95. So to see him go out like this is unfortunate, you know. And I remember going to his concert as a kid. I was a big fan of him, just watching his you know, him rise to the top. And I'll say this though, you know, I picture that Cassie on that ground being like my daughter or one of my nieces or something like that.
Yes.
And for me, it's like, man, we got to get him up out of here. And, you know, if I'm him, I take the lead of what Michael Jackson did back in the 90s when all these people were trying to accuse him of being a child molester. He packed his crap. He shut down Neverland and moved to Europe and he never came back to the United States. If I'm Diddy, I move to Europe, I move somewhere else. You know, European people are very, very understanding. They even forgave the Queen for killing Princess Diana. So if you forgive somebody for that, you'll forgive them for anything, you know? So at the end of the day, they are very forgiving people. Move there, Diddy, start over, you know, and leave the United States behind, because your reign is over here, man. You'll never be able to get past that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he has enough money, enough assets, and different things. So money is never the issue, or won't be the issue right now. But when he fight this case, money will be an issue, because Cash probably gonna try to take everything from him. So my stance on that is essentially, people just treat people the way you want to be treated. If you got daughters, you know, just think of that. You understand? So as you just
let me ask you a question. Let's take it a step further. We all know the FBI released this. If the FBI released it, does it mean they got nothing on him, that they can get him in court, so they're gonna kill him in the public eye? What are your thoughts on that? We know the FBI released that. When they raided his house, they found that video.
Yeah, so we already know that. So it's more so at this point, like you say, the public eye, the image. We already and listen, us black folks, we all, as soon as we seen the video aired, I was at work. Somebody say, "Did you see the video come out?" I said, "What video?" Yeah, and I'm like, so I go to Google, I type it up real nice. I'm like, yo,
spread like wildfire.
Yeah, it spread big time. So everybody started just typing in on Facebook, on their platforms, or Instagram, Diddy, you're done. Diddy is over. You know, condemn Diddy. You know what I mean? Dethrone Diddy. So honestly, normally us black folks are the most forgiving. You know what I mean? I don't know if that the Bible has anything to do with that, but we're not going to get in there. Today is Sunday. Praise God. Praise God. But we're not going to get into that. So please don't put in the chat. Don't make it seem like all us Bible thumpers are forgivers and this, that. I'm not going there. My point is too much. Yeah, the point is they're basically dethroning him. You know what I mean? I'm gonna still listen to his music because I can separate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cancel.
I can separate the act from the actual music because it's two separate things in my opinion. You understand? So but I'm standing on. I'm standing on. You know what? Treat people the way you want to be treated. I know. You know, we ain't got to get into that. So what do you stand on that?
Listen, Diddy, thank you, man. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for those Ciroc nights. Thank you for thank you for the music, thank you for everything. And if you got to get up out of here and go under and go dark like Russell Simmons, move to Bali or something and never be seen or heard from again unless you're doing some weird stuff like Russell Simmons is doing, at the end of the day, I don't blame you. Hey, just make sure you take care of your kids. But unfortunately,
Russell man, I'm not gonna get into that, but go ahead.
Yeah, exactly, right. But hey man, thank you for the reign. I'm 40, about to be 42 years old. You've been basically in my life since I was in middle school. It's been fun. I feel like I'm bidding them goodbye. It's our last dance. Our last, turn out the lights when you leave the party. I'm leaving the party and I'm not coming back. So good luck to you, brother. Definitely, But
hey, as people would say, I know the video came out, but I do have a button for that.
Accusation.
I don't know, but is it gonna be a thing to where he gets penalized in the public eye is already done. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
we're good.
exactly.
Ain't no issues. Now, I don't know. What's
he's already in
basketball?
Bali? Ray, he's already in Bali? Thank you for giving us. We have breaking news. Diddy is
What?
in Bali.
He's in Bali?
That's what Ray's saying in the chat. Thanks for letting us know. Smart man.
Okay.
Very smart man. Very smart
Really?
man. Wherever he is, he's very smart.
Well,
thanks for checking in, Ray.
Hey, we appreciate you, Ray. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna do that now.
What else happened, man?
Okay.
Kendrick,
we'll go to sports. We're going to sports here.
Sports,
so
yeah.
What's the girl's name? Caitlin, what's her name?
Caitlin
Clark, right?
Yes.
So she had her debut sometime last week, and they roasted the crap out of this girl.
Did she? Did she do
she
well?
had she had a WNBA record of 10 turnovers, right? Now, everybody's comparing her. So she's the next great basketball player. We're not going to throw race in that at this point, even though there have been some other races, us folks, that had done way better than her on her debut back in the day. But they just want to highlight her because of her skin complexion. Now, she had 10 turnovers. Now, what was the Candace Parker? They're comparing Candace Parker, but Candace Parker she was that chosen person, right? And then their debut. Candace Parker had 20 more points than her, more assists, more free throw attempts, and less turnovers. Remember, Caitlin had 10 turnovers. You understand? So if you're going to compare, is she supposed to be the MVP, front runner, rookie of the year, and you didn't get out to a great start? I'm not condemning her and saying she's not going to have a great year. She just had one bad game. That's it. That's all it was. I don't know how she's done. So everybody's condemning her. Yo, you did terrible because she came in with all these high expectations and high hopes. So what are your thoughts on her debut? Do you think this is a sign of her going to do bad, or she just had a bad game?
I think it's a little early to get rid of her. I think it's a little early to write her off. I do think they need to lower the expectations. Although I think the WNBA players need to be very thankful for her because they're all on chartered flights now and they're not flying on Spirit Airlines to the games. And we all know
really? Is that news?
Yeah. They're flying chartered now. No more commercial. So
since when? Since of this year?
Yeah, as of this year. And we all know that's because of Caitlin Clark. So I don't want to be too hard on her because she's changing the game already. They don't have to fly on Spirit or Frontier anymore. So, shout outs to her.
Okay.
And, maybe that'll lower the expectations a little bit and maybe she'll be okay.
Okay.
But she's definitely doing some big things so far as pushing the WNBA forward. So I got to give her props on that,
All right, cool. I'm not going to bash her. What I would stand on that one when it comes to, like you say, I honestly don't bash her. It's the first game. I think she's going to be great. Look, Oscar says she's helping the league out. Yeah. She is.
What up? I see you, brother.
But don't give her that big old crown and horsing her up and saying, hey, listen, she's the next thing since the past few years when there have been other colored, I'm going to say this word, colored athletes that done way more, but they never got a shoe deal. They never got any endorsements. They never got anything. But Caitlin comes along and she's the next great. Come on, let's not do that. Let's
lower her expectations a little. She'll be a great player. And let's see what happens.
Yes, but she's doing great things. She's helping the league out. But how come other players that were greater than her previously are not helping the league out? That's what I really want to touch on. But I digress. I'm gonna digress on that.
Shout out to WNBA because guess what? We're even talking about it. So they've won already. They've won. We're not even talking about the NBA. We're talking about the WNBA. They have won.
That's it. So they won. Yeah. So we're not gonna talk about that game yet last night. Want to get into the topics, man? What's the first topic, man? We're about 15 minutes in. This first topic, man, is I'm kind of man. Listen. When it comes to, and speaking of sports, this is a great segue, guys. This is a great.
We're getting to it right now.
So honestly, this is what's going on. As y'all can see down below on the ticker, is money and status enough? There, you might be asking, what is the I Stand on That podcast talking about? What are we discussing? Great question. Glad you asked. All right. So Shaunie O'Neal is in the news, and of course, Shaquille O'Neal is in the news. And Shaunie's wrote a book. Right? Ain't that right? Southwater says she wrote a book.
So
she actually wrote a book And in this memoir, as I would like to call it, she wrote, and this was not saying it's troublesome whatsoever, but it does raise the eyebrow. That's why we're talking about it today.
Yes.
She said, I was only with Mr. Superman himself, Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, Mr. 3-time MVP, all these accolades, right? All these accolades. I was only with this gentleman for the what? For the guap. I didn't love you.
Yeah, and the lifestyle.
And the lifestyle. I didn't love you. I didn't really want you. Yeah, I bed your kids, but guess what? I knew damn well I was going to be fully taken care of and had nothing to worry about. Now, our question is money and status enough? Women, where y'all at? I want y'all to chime in. If y'all want to come on and have this conversation, I'm going to put the actual link to join in the chat.
Yes.
Because I want some women to chime. I want some women to come in here and say, hey, listen, yes, Mr. Daily Insight, yes, Southwater said money and status is enough. As long as I'm dripping gold, jewelry, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, nice house, nice cars and status. As long as I'm dripping that, I'm cool. I don't have to love you. I'll bear your kids, and that's it. I wonder if that's enough when it comes to nowadays. Now, before I let you go ahead and talk about this actual topic. Your opinion. I think nowadays that's the go-to. At this point, most women nowadays are only concerned about status and money. Majority of the women. Now, I may be dead wrong. I may not have the statistics. South Florida said, I don't know if you have the statistics on this, but most women would rather actually have status, money over love at this point. And also, and I'm a dig deeper. And the reason why I say that, most women are asking, and it's been proven time and time again, women may rather go on a shopping spree date than a dinner date. Any time of the day.
Wow, nice.
Women may
good one. I like that.
Women would rather go on a shopping spree date than what? An actual dinner date. And I dare any woman to jump on here and challenge me on that. I dare any woman listening to the sound of my voice to challenge me on that. So, Southwater said, what's your thought process on that, sir?
Here's my issue with what Shawnee said. I feel like, it's easy to say that after the fact. I feel like she's beating a dead horse. There's, Shaq has already come out and said, look, I was the worst husband on the face of the earth. I cheated until I couldn't cheat anymore. And I just wasn't a good man. And, he's kind of already beat himself over this. For her to come out with a book saying, look, bro, I never kind of really loved you anyway. I thought was harsh. Here's my problem. And here's the issue that many women and men, we can flip it, right? A man could be married to a woman who makes a lot of money, right? But the reality of the situation is, if you're with somebody and the Red Sea parts for you wherever you go, which is basically what happened with Shaunie O'Neal, she can go anywhere on this globe and she's Miss Shaquille O'Neal, and you look up and you're like, I got all these houses. I got a house in LA, Miami, Orlando, Tampa, vacations, everything. Is it advantageous enough for me just to say, let me stick with it, right? Do I really want to go back to dating a thousandaire which is what she's dating right now? A guy who, a regular guy who, at the end of the day, when she goes to the Prime 112, the reservation.
Let's not say regular. Let's not say regular, because I don't think, in my opinion, Shaunie has money. She's produced a couple of shows and stuff like that. So she's secure, along with child support, and I'm pretty sure Shaq is going to make sure.
I meant the guy's regular. Well, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. She doesn't live a regular life. That's what I meant. You're right. Let me retract.
That's what I'm saying.
She doesn't live a regular life. Yes.
Yeah, and also
the Prime 112 reservation goes in her name. It's not in his name. The Prime 112 reservation's in her name. I guess that's my only point. Not calling hey, how you doing? This is Mr. Daily Insight. Who? It's Mr. Daily Insight. I want a table for two for me and my wife. Sir, we're out of reservations for tonight. Hold on. You hand the phone to Shaunie. How you doing? This is Shaunie O'Neal. Oh, Mrs. O'Neal, how are you? How you doing? A table just opened up for you. I can get you in right now. Go on.
Hey, listen, but look what you just said. That's called status. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Having status and
Yes.
money. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Prestige. You know,
Yes.
so with that, right? With that whole status, again, I don't think Shawnee would ever date a guy that works a 9 to 5, right?
I think he's a
What's the
preacher,
point of
right?
me?
He's a pastor, isn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah,
If someone
9%
wants
sure
to look,
she married a pastor. She married a pastor. And remember, because
okay,
remember the guy came out, her former side dude came out, was trying to be messy and said that the night of her, this is not a gossip, pod, but
this
her
is
former side dude came out and said that the night of her bachelor party, she flew him out on a private jet so they could be intimate one last time before she got married. Yeah, he went on social media and said that. So she married a pastor. Yeah, he's absolutely a pastor. So she basically married the total opposite. And she's like, look, to your point, I'm Shawnee O'Neal now, so I can still get the same access and not have to deal with the BS anymore. Which, hey, I don't see anything wrong with that,
Yeah, it's not. It's nothing wrong with that. But here's my thing. What in your mind, and I'm sure if she wanted to get a divorce sooner, hold on, let me make my point here. Sooner than kind of what they got, what made her stay? You know what I mean? Like, what was in your head? You know what? I'd rather my kids be taken care of financially, me be taken care of financially. And did I ever love them? Because I don't know. You said you read. Did you say you read the book, or I'm not sure?
I didn't read the excerpt. That was one of the excerpts. The excerpt was She basically came out and said, and then she had to come out and kind of, that was taken out of context. No, it wasn't. It's your book. Can't take anything out of context when you wrote it. But go ahead. Right?
Correct. So, but that's my thing. Was it ever love in the beginning? Did she see was Shaq a target to her setting her life up? You understand? It begs the question. Was he a target when she pursued him, or I'm pretty sure he pursued her. But of course, women, they have to make themselves available to even be in that situation, because you could be approached by a guy, a millionaire, and it'd be, nah, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm fine.
Let me throw this out there. Because I'm shocked. My guy, Oscar Turner, what up, OD? Shout out to Seattle, Washington, the building. Didn't just put in the chat, hey, man, that's what prenups are for, you give yourself a prenup, and at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about whether she's with me for love or whether she's with me for my money or whatever. All that's done and done when you have a prenup. So it sounds like maybe Shaq didn't have one. Do you think he had one or didn't? I'd be interested to know that. Because it seems like she's pretty much good to go.
Let me, I don't know. I'll probably.
I'll be interested to know if he had a prenup, because the way she's talking and moving around is almost like he didn't, And let me ask this question to you. Let's say that was your daughter, And what up, Cuzzo? What's happening, man? Thanks for jumping in, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you. Shaq was a meal.
Shaq was he was a meal ticket. Oh,
exactly.
Lord. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So let me ask
you. Said that's my daughter.
Let me ask you a question and the chat a question. What if that was your daughter? Right. I know a lot of people in this chat, have daughters, and your daughter was married to a Shaquille O'Neal level person, and she was coming home every day. Her Rolls Royce pulls up to your house. She hops out of her Gucci everything, Gucci bags, Gucci outfit, Gucci everything, right? Bag is she has $500,000 on her right now. But when we add up the jewelry and the earrings, she comes into your house and she starts crying on your shoulder. I can't take it anymore. I don't want to live this life anymore. Hold on one second. Hold that thought. Hello? Yeah, give me the brand new Lamborghini. No, not that one. The lot. Yeah, that's the one I want. Delivered to my house tomorrow. Thank you very much. Okay, Dad. She's crying. She goes back to crying on your shoulder. She's bawling out of control.
You're like, wait a minute.
What do you say to your daughter?
What are you crying for?
I saw your daughter. She's such a cutie, my brother.
Yeah, wait, time out. You're crying on Dad's arm, but then you're on the other line. You're getting a car delivered that 100% of the people want in life, and that's their dream car. But then you're crying on my shoulder. What the hell are you crying for? But go ahead, continue. Finish. Go ahead.
So I saw your daughter. Your daughter's so cute, man. I'm at the party last weekend. Very cute. Let's say that was your daughter.
Thank you.
What is your advice to her, man? What is your advice? Be honest, man. Be honest.
Honestly, I preach love first, man, to be honest. And of course, growing up and me teaching them financial literacy and just different things of that magnitude, of course, that's going to be important. So they're going to have their own and things like that. So I don't think the money piece is going to be a big factor, but it helps, I guess. You know what I mean? You don't want your daughters to struggle.
Leave him, divorce him. You would say, listen, divorce him. If you're that unhappy, just
the safe bet, just divorce it, because you never know what the mental capacity of that individual may be. He may be in a situation he want to end it all because you left. And there have been some cases where there've been millionaires, and in certain situations, you leaving me, or if you stay and they find out you just stand for the money, they may want to off you. You know what I mean? So and when I say that, some guys, they take a heart like, yo, you with me for my money. It's like, you ain't love me, you just use me. You know what I mean? Dudes really can't take stuff like that. Women take it all the time. Yeah, it is a double standard type of question here that's being thrown out there. But
I see, because it is a double standard question.
But I would tell her to leave in that situation. But everybody in certain situations, they're going to stay because that is their meal ticket. That is their only way out. And they have to kind of build a life for themselves to kind of, to do what they need to do. But you know what I mean? Everybody's different. So
I see you, Oscar. If it's my daughter, don't marry for status. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Very good point. Just don't even get involved. Just don't even get involved in that at all. Good point.
But why is that? Why don't marry for status? Oscar, if you can chime in, but my 2 cents, bro, to be on this topic, essentially. And I'm not blaming Shani for coming out. Of course, she's speaking her truth now. She couldn't speak her truth then. That was my question. Why can't you speak your truth now and live in it? You know what I mean? Why did it have the book come out? Why did you have to let him drag himself through the mud? All this. Now, I did put on our actual Facebook page, TikTok page, I have a clip. He was on the show of what's the 3 guys? The Pivot podcast. The Pivot podcast.
Is it the Pivot or is it OG?
It's called no. Trust me, because I remember this verbatim. Because on that page, I posted a part of the interview when he spoke about Shani. Channing Crowder. He was being messy. He said, Shaq, man, you the MVP, you this, you control most of your life. And he said, talking about his ex-wife, you couldn't control that situation, right? Because guess what? Yes, you messed around and everything. And Shaq replied, you know what? Shani was a good woman to me. I messed that situation up. That was all me. I don't blame Shani for anything. And this was years ago that they had actually did that interview. I think it was 2-3 years ago they had that interview, and it still is replaying to this day now. I believe we have over 70,000 people that's viewed that actual video on our TikTok. So he admitted Shani was a good woman. I did my dirt, but I'm blessed that she's the mother of my actual kids.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Hey, because because Shaq himself admitted that he wasn't a good husband. He messed around. He really loved. Hey, you're right. Yeah. That goes both ways. Did he really love her? Correct. So let me tell you what I stand on. I'll let you close it out. Here's what I stand on. Yes, there's some good points being made in this chat. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, man, and this might not be popular opinion. If that was my daughter crying on my shoulders and she just got off the phone with the Lamborghini, the Lamborghini sales associate, and she just hopped out of a Rolls Royce with about $500,000 on her, I said, if you don't get off my shoulder and go take your butt back to that mansion and stop playing around and play your role, you know what I mean? Yeah. And kick her butt right out of here, right? At the end of the day, you knew what you signed up for, and you got to give take what it comes with that. And as long as he's not beating on her, which never came out.
So you're saying, right? And I'm gonna muddy this a little bit. So you're saying, you know what comes with a millionaire, a billionaire. Like are Shaq, you saying they're gonna have women? Because there was a question posed. This is on a different podcast. The guy said, can you name me a millionaire that has a wife or girlfriend that hasn't been cheated on?
Interesting. Okay. Interesting question.
Now, here's the thing. Robach, what's his name? Obama. I'm trying to say his name. Obama.
Yeah, Obama. Barack Obama. Yes.
Yes. Michelle had a memoir or a book as well that was written.
He cheated.
She mentioned he messed around, and during the presidency, there was a time that she was going to get a divorce from Barack. That was in the book. So my point of saying that is, it's like saying, hey, names, let me, find a millionaire that hasn't cheated or doesn't have women.
Exactly.
And so you're saying in your situation,
it's my daughter.
With your daughter, you're saying, listen, he gonna mess around. It comes with it.
As long as he's not beating on you,
as long as he's not beating on you, you're cool with that. You're cool with that.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Wow. And then Joe, I see you, Joe. Thanks for joining the show, man. RJ Hunter. With Shaq's dad, it would be hard to know if any man really loves him. Very true. So tell me what you stand on. This is a great topic, but tell me what you stand on, Mr. Daily Insight.
I don't know. We keep going, to be honest, because we see people chiming in.
Okay. Hey,
left and right.
And everybody, Joe has my man Joe has a son.
Sure to be married to someone who is treating you poorly. I get it, but at the same time, it's a double standard with this. She was being treated poorly, being cheated on, and she knew about it, but she stayed. Mm-hmm. So is that her trade-off? Oh, you're cheating on me, so I'm gonna keep you dripped in Gucci and gold.
Well,
so that's a trade-off.
I believe she cheated too during the marriage. I think Shaq knows it, but Shaq's not going to put
eventually.
Her out there.
Eventually she probably did. Yeah. You know what I mean? But initially, so why don't you stay and be like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna mess around, you're gonna mess around, and we're gonna raise these kids and keep it Gucci. That's a fair agreement.
Well, she wanted a preacher man. She ended up marrying old Pastor Henderson. I think that's his name. Something Henderson.
Pastor Henderson.
Pastor Henderson. The thousandaire. The thousandaire.
And he's ripping off the church by that collection plate that's going around. That's going in their pocket, and they going on trips and everything. Exactly. Don't get me started on this Sunday. Don't get me started on this Sunday morning, please. Don't
tell me what you stand on.
So this is what I'm saying. When it comes to essentially, is money and status enough? You have to be the judge of that as an individual. If you're willing to trade off money and status for love, adornment, the fairy tale love lifestyle, or whatever the case may be, the gold picket fence, most people go for that in the beginning, but then once they say, listen, it's not working, I'm going for money and status at my second and third and fourth marriage. And you know what I mean? But it looks like Shani is in reverse. As you said, Oscar, or whoever mentioned that earlier, listen, he was a meal ticket. Now Shani's like, all right, I got the money. Now I really want to go for love now. You know what I mean? So it looked like those roles kind of reversed a little bit. But what I stand on, if that's what you're going for or looking for, if it's enough for you, hey, listen, I salute you. Do what you do. So
hey,
she
man,
married Deacon Durong.
That's a good one, because Deacon Durong. I think the guy's Devin Henderson or something like that. Whatever the heck the guy's name is. But she did a tour. Shout out to Shani O'Neal. Well, Shani Henderson. Shout out to Shaq, man. Shaq's a good brother. You know what I mean? Hey, man, he's doing just fine. He's living his life and flirting with everything moving. So he's not doing too bad.
Sticking and moving.
Hey, man. I'm not buying it. He's not loving his life right now. He's loving it. So yeah. All right. Yeah. So the next topic, man. I'm glad I got a lot of fathers in here. So we're gonna get to it. I want everybody getting in here, man. Jump in here and give us your thoughts for this next topic. I think we all by now, if you haven't heard about the situation that happened where the father's daughter, who was 7 years old, was getting bullied in school every day. Bully. And the father, according to him, went to the school multiple times and said, hey, look, my daughter's getting bullied. It's you're messing with her mental health. I need your help. The school, apparently, according to him, was like, what do you want us to do about it? He wrote a letter. This is him. He wrote letters, right? Wrote letters saying, guys, you guys are this girl keeps messing with my daughter. My daughter is coming home every day crying, doesn't want to go to school. School did nothing. So the father said, you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this to the streets. We're gonna take this to the streets. You know what I'm saying? And now this is where the story gets a little muddy. I don't know if he hired some street dudes to jump and beat the guy up, or him and his brothers went and beat the guy up himself. But they beat the father up of the girl. And he went on, I don't know why he went on social media and taped it and stuff, which I wouldn't have done. But
I wouldn't either.
it's a very polarizing situation. Some people are like, man, he's good for that. Protect your daughter. Other people are like, man, you know, as adults, we need to talk it out. So I would love to know everyone's thoughts in here who has kids around how far do you go when it comes to protecting your kids. Now, I got some stats. Before you guys jump in, I got some stats. I have some bullying stats for you who are going to basically come in and tell me, oh, he was wrong. He should have done that. No, he should have done that. As of 2023, according to the Pew Research Center, parents with kids under 18, 35% say they are extremely worried that their kid might be bullied at some point in school. So these are basically at 35% of the parents out there say they send their kid off to school every day, just wondering and hoping and praying that they don't get bullied in school. Black and Hispanic teens, whether they're middle, like they're taking it economic tiers. Black and Hispanic teens in the lower middle class and in middle class households view online harassment as a major problem to any other demographic. So basically, Black and Hispanic teens basically say, yo, I get bullied online more than cyberbullying. Yeah, cyberbullying more than I get bullied face to face. As of 2020, this is a crazy stat, by the way. As of 2020, only 22% of the kids in middle and high school said they were bullied. Right? And of the 22%, only 33% of the 22 said it only happened one day. So bullying in middle school and high school seems like it kind of tails off a little bit. I thought that was unless kids are lying. They could be lying, right? And the last stat, the most popular demographics of those. Oh, Tanya T, thanks for tapping in. We got a principal in the building. Shout out to Tanya T, who's a principal of an elementary school in Boynton Beach. Would love your thoughts around this particular subject.
Oh, there she goes. Wait, the whole situation, was a mess. School should have handled it. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, but sometimes it's not immediate because the parent of the bully doesn't think they do anything, and that makes it hard for the school. You need the parent support. Good stuff. We're getting some principal expert advice there. But the most, real quick, and then we're going to jump into this. The most common bully demographics, 1 is girls. I thought that was interesting. 2, middle school kids. And 3, kids who live in rural areas. I thought that was very, very interesting. So rural areas versus cities, towns, or suburbs. So kids who live in rural areas are the third most demographic to get bullied. I'll say this, man, and I'm going to let you jump in. Tanya, we need a lot of your expert advice because the father was saying he got let down by the school. He went to the school. He begged. He pleaded. And the school basically turned their back on him. I would love to know, did he approach the father? Did he go to the father and say, bruh, Mr. Daily Insight, can you please have your daughter stop, bullying mine? Did the other father say, dude, I'm not getting involved in kid business, get out of my face, and disrespect him? And then he's like, you know what? Okay, now we're going to get to it. So I would love to know those questions behind why he made the decision. But go ahead, Mr. Daily Insight. Go ahead.
Miss Tanya, if you're a principal, you can come on here.
Yeah, get on the chat, Tanya. Jump on, man.
If you want, let me throw this link. Let me throw this link in here because I would love to throw the link in the chat because
you got a lot to say. You got a lot to say, Tanya T.
Yes, you do. Tap in. Now, here's the thing. I used to be an actual teacher back in Miami. I subbed for a good minute.
Really? Nice.
I became a full-time teacher of different subjects. And I see all the bullying going on, or used to see it, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I would say I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to the school district and school systems, they lack accountability. They don't take it serious. Honestly, most of the teachers and administrators are under extreme pressure for these tests, right? Because with these tests, if you don't perform well, you're not getting the funding, and the funding trickles down to bonuses and all that type of stuff to help the school, books, to help the overall school. I get it. It's a lot of pressure. So that's honestly one of those things, those subject matters, it's the furthest from everybody's mind. But when it happens, they wish they would have took accountability for these issues when it comes to that. Now, does the bullying happen a lot? It does. But as someone said in the chat, the kids mimic what they see at home, which is a lot of that, right? So most of the time, parents are so busy. I've been in situations where I had 2 parents, they're very successful, but the kid got 2 or 3 kids and he's only in middle school. Why? The parents are not home. He has no structure. and therefore it creates in some type of ground or situation for him to be a menace at the end of the day. Well, all he wanted was some attention and some direction. That's all he needed.
Exactly.
And I took that particular kid under my basically, direction, because guess what? He was acting out. He was always in trouble, but he needed direction. He had no direction. He go home, he's spending for himself, taking care of little kids. He's supposed to be a damn kid at the end of the day. So I think a lot of that happens. They act out because they don't have love at home. You know what I mean? They don't have structure at home. And I think kids nowadays, and I think kids are missing their grandparents, because that's where a lot of structure. And I was raised by my grandparents, and they were tough as shit, tough as nails on me, dude. And they taught me right from wrong. They work. My granddad, you know what I mean? At 5 a.m. in the morning, I got ability as a 5-year-old. I'm getting up, drinking coffee, raking lawns at 5. Every yard was $5 to me, and I built up over $400 in my bank account as a little kid. Nice. You know what I mean? So I think these kids do not have structure in their lives. And then sometimes they're left alone to kind of just do what and mimic other people or mimic their home in certain situations. So I think there's just a imbalance in the two. So if they have some structure, if they have someone at home that really cares, that's on top of them, they can kind of watch and observe different things. You know what I mean? So, and as far as bullying, I teach my kids, you know what I mean? Listen, somebody bully you or say something, fight back, do this, do that. I observed my daughter last year. I'm picking her up. A little young girl pushed her. And guess what she did? I was about to jump out the car and go get the girl. Like, yo, girl or not, you ain't pushing my daughter. But something said, you taught her well. So minutes later, my daughter grabbed her, put her book back down, and put all her might and pushed her to the floor. I sat back and was like this. I'm a proud dad. You know what I mean? So, and I think part of this is because most people may say, hey, listen, that's not the right thing to teach your kid. Bullshit. Because you don't teach your kids to fight back, they're going to continue to get bullied. So those are my 2 cents on that one for sure.
We got some good comments in here. Cuzzo, you made a good point. Why they jumped the guy. Only reason I didn't see the other guy, I'm hoping he was like 6'9", 300, and the guy was like, I'm gonna need reinforcements to come take this guy out. I agree. If the guy was a normal sized guy, jumping him, it seems a little excessive. Joe, you made a good point. I didn't know. So he did meet with the parents the first time. Okay, I did not know that. He met with the parents the first time to try to settle it cordially, but little girl denied it. It's a very, very huge part in this. If he tried to settle it as man and he was disrespected, then that changes the narrative a little bit. And then because of telling these kids mimic their environment, if the parents aren't setting a good example, how do you expect the kids to act? So let's talk through a few of these comments. If he tried to go and talk to the guy, man, let's say your little girl was getting bullied and you go talk to the dad, man to man, and the dad disrespects you. On some get off my porch with this crap, homie. You know, teach a girl how to fight. Is it up? Is it on? Like, what's going on? You like, okay, it's on.
Okay. Well, listen. And here's my thing. Long as you don't spit in my face or put your hands on me, we're cool. Like, I'm cool with that because I had that. That's if you want to piss me off, just do those 2 things. It's on from there. Now, if he tells me it's on from there, get the hell off my lawn, my porch. I'm telling my daughter, yo, when you see her, it's on site every time. Gotcha. You see her and she in the vicinity, I'm getting the green light and you ain't getting in trouble. I don't care what they don't care. They suspend you on nothing. You got it's a green light. You pick up a rock or we bash faces, brother. It's on.
Oh, what up? I see you, baby girl.
So honestly, as long as I'm not disrespected about the dad, you know what I mean? I'm cool. But if I'm trying to have a civil conversation and be an adult about the situation, you want to handle like a child, guess what? It's on site for your daughter or son, whoever it is. So
exactly. You know what's crazy? Yeah, I think what's crazy about this conversation, man, is, I think people have different levels of what they would do to protect their children. And, I think we all think, I know there's civilized people in here like my boy O.D. Turner, who's a very nonviolent. He would have, he goes to John Lewis. He subscribed to the John Lewis way of things. And shout out to John Lewis, that brother. He's very nonviolent. But there's other parents because there's parents who will tell you, Mr. Daily Insight, that's not the way to handle it. You don't go tell your daughter to fight the girl. You handle it nonviolently, You know
what I mean? Exactly. So, but it just depends on how you were raised. Like, like that's one of the ways you protect your kid. Like being bullied, like the kids are cruel, man. Kids are cruel nowadays. So I teach my kid, listen, you're gonna rank back and you're gonna fight back. What is rank, y'all? Y'all know what ranking mean. Picking on, saying something about their clothing, saying something about their shoes. Listen, a kid jumped on my kid about something, and my daughter came to me and said, Dad, this kid tried to talk to me, telling me something, why are you so tall to be in the 3rd grade? He said, why are you so short to be in the 7th grade? You know what I mean? Gave him the business, bro. And I sat back and I was like, I was proud because my teaching, me helping her deal with these things, because she's shy. She's an introvert. I'm an introvert, but I can learn. But I know when to be an extrovert when I need it. She doesn't have that yet, so I'm still teaching her to essentially be an introvert, be cool, calm, and collected. But when someone messages you, you can be extroverted and you can stand up for yourself.
So let me ask you this question: So at what point do you take it to where this guy took it to, outside of him putting his hands on you and spitting in your face? At what point? Give me another scenario where you would take it to where he took it to.
I don't think I have one. I'm being.
So you think he's wrong? You think he was wrong in the situation?
Bro, he did what he thought was necessary. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to set a precedent with some people. Like, listen, you don't F with my family, you don't F with my kids, and that was his way of setting that standard. I'm not saying I disagree with him. You know what I mean? Okay. He just felt it was necessary for him to get his point across. But then you're gonna hear kids talk about the situation. You're gonna hear parents talk about the situation. And guess what? If something ever were to come up regarding his kid, oh, you put some respect on his name. Oh, you the kid that the father did X, Y, and Z. Oh, I'm good. I ain't messing with you. Now it sets a precedent. You know what I mean? Everybody know you don't mess with him. Like when I got into a fight and I had 2 gang members that I beat up.
Oh, okay. I see you.
Oh, hold on. Listen. Let me. I got a blood pressure. So allegedly they were gang members, but anyway, so all the kids were afraid of these 2 guys. It was one tall guy, one shorter guy. I happened to get to an altercation and say, "Yo, man, don't be messing with kids that they can't defend for themselves."
Exactly.
I ended up beating up both of them. One at 1 hour and the other one at another hour. It got around to the school. Nobody was scared of them, and they would start calling me king around the school because they were taking kids' lunch boxes, taking their lunch money, doing all type of crazy stuff. So I happened to stood up for some of the kids. Yo, I seen somebody being picked on. Yo, don't pick on him. And they're like, who the hell you think you are? And guess what? I did what I needed to do. I got in the fight. I got suspended, and then at that moment, it was just one of those. We had to go to the office and we had a conversation. So listen, it's just too much. Yeah. He did what he needed to do. I'm not mad at him. I'm not. That's all I'm saying.
Well, here's another angle. Because of a good angle. He said, man, retaliation's real. Now, where does it go from here? Does the guy go get his gun and go counter retaliation? Or is it a situation, so you're right. This could go further. I hope it does not. I hope 2 men sit down and have a conversation. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. After you get jumped, you really don't want to sit down and talk about anything. But I really hope that they can figure it out. Here's where I stand on with this conversation, man. There's no such thing, in my opinion, as going too far to protect your kids. If anybody here who has kids knows, when something happens with your kids, you snap.
Yeah.
It's instant. You look up and you're like, oh my God, what did I just do? I just killed somebody. Or oh my God, what did I just do? I just beat the heck out of this person. Because there's I feel like as parents, there's something in our heads that allow us to snap when it comes to our kids. Like you did. You saw your daughter being pushed and you were like, oh, I'm going. You were go mode.
I was.
You know what I mean? You snapped, but you brought it back, but you snapped just like that. So I really think as parents, it's something in us.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you don't have to talk about it. You don't have to coach it. You don't have to mentor it. You don't have to do anything. It's just, about my baby, about my kids. Yes. Oh no, it's on site.
Yes.
So I get it.
Snap. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things, man. So
and it's unfortunate for this brother. I know he was protecting his daughter. Look, I can't imagine him coming home every day seeing his daughter cry. Remember, this is 7 years old. If we were talking about a 17-year-old, that's a little different. But a 7-year-old, for most of us, that's like what, 1st, 2nd grade. She's coming home crying every day. She's not eating. She's not sleeping. She doesn't want to go to school. And you go to the principal, you do everything right. You check off all the boxes. And then you approach the dad and the dad disrespects you. And then at that point, you're like, at this point, we just got to take it to the streets. And
Yeah.
you know, I hope this doesn't go past this. I hope nobody goes to jail. I just hope the two girls learn from this, especially the bully. That man, you know, sometimes things can get out of hand, and hope it's a learning lesson for everybody. So, what do you stand
Yeah.
on?
Simply put, man, just like you said, you know, a few things were said about the school system. That's the furthest thing on their mind. They're not concerned about kids being bullied. Yeah, they come out with anti-bullying rallies and different things of that nature. It's just a mask. It's smoke. It's not the real thing. What they're really concerned about. The real thing they're concerned about. Listen, are these kids passing these tests so we can get that funding?
Yes,
That's their main concern. So yes, the school they're not responsible really for that. They're there for the allegedly learn, because you ain't really learning much in school like that.
Exactly.
Let's be honest. That's not. So all you school teacher, what's the principal in here? Miss Tanya T. I don't know if you feel the same way, but these students ain't really learning much. Private school, yeah, you may, but the public schools, y'all ain't really learning much. And we already know it's a glorified babysitting center. So what I stand on, there's no going too far to protect your kids. You know, be smart about it. You know, if you want somebody to do something to them, just hire someone. You know. But I ain't telling you to do that either. But anyway, that's what I stand on. So
good stuff, man. Hey, we want to thank everybody who's in the chat, man. Keep coming into the chat. Keep engaging, man. I know you guys are saying somebody's missing. You know, we're missing our third brother today. He had an emergency at the last second. You know, but we know he's listening and he's paying attention. We got some commercials that we're gonna have for you guys the next time. You know, we're gonna keep it very interactive. We just want to have a real and raw episode this time without all the commercials and the top tens and stuff, and just have some real conversations. So we appreciate you guys engaging with us and jumping into the chat. And we're getting down to the main topic. And this is where we need everybody, you know, to engage and give us your thoughts, young and old. Paloma, if you in there, chime in, because this is for your age group as well, and everybody involved. What is the American dream, you know, nowadays, right? You know, I think the American dream, you know, when we were coming up, Mr. Daily Insight, and we got our scenarios. It will be scenario time. It will be scenario time, but just let me introduce it. You know, the American dream in our era, my era, everybody in the chat's era, who is, I would say, 35 and over, right? We wanted to get out of our parents' house, hopefully, right? Because we didn't like them telling us what to do. You know, our generation, right? You know, we let our kids get away with murder, but man, our parents, they used to tell us what to do, boss us around. I want to get out of there, right? You know, get a good job, whether you go straight to college, you just go straight to work, get a good job, you know, marry somebody, have 2-3 kids, a pet, own a home, have a savings, go on a trip once a year, maybe twice if you're rich, right? You know, have a few presents for Christmas, and then retire, you know, at 61, 62.
At the same company.
Yes. Good job. Be at the same company for 40 years. Good job. I like that. Be the same company 30, 40 years, retire, and enjoy your grandkids. That was the American dream, I would say, in our generation and before. I believe.
Hold on. I got a button.
Accusation.
Exactly, right? You know, also working for somebody for 30, 40 years. You know, that would be very few people were just talking, and we were coming up talking about having their own business. You know, that just wasn't happening. Like this generation. You know, Paloma, my niece Paloma, who's in the chat, that's more her generation, not really ours. Is that lost? Is that dead? Right? And now, you know, you guys are asking us, what is the angle you guys are taking with this? You know, the angle of this is, with a lot of those things I mentioned being a thing of the past, you know, we have to usher in, right, a new era of doing things. And a lot of people, companies are getting hurt by this, right? Like you said, you know, you can't find people anymore who want to stay at a company for 40 years. Nope. I remember 2 of my buddies, one of them's in the chat, OD told me, man, I get a new job every 3 years. I'm like, really? I'm like, whoa, every 2-3 years. He's like, yeah, man, right. You know, and I think that's the new age. I'm going to give you some scenarios. We're going to play a game, and then Mr. Daily Insight, I'm going to let you jump in. I see that Mr. OD Turner, yes, American Dream is tougher now because of much worst labor market, offshore and job layoffs? Absolutely. But we're going to give you guys some scenarios, and I want you to chime in. I got 4 scenarios of the American dream, and then 1 scenario of what would be considered the new American dream for the 30 and under crowd.
I like it.
Scenario number 1. Girl and guy met in high school. They both graduate high school. Girl gets pregnant at 19. Girl and guy both get jobs working 9-to-5 jobs. Before the age of 25, they have 3 kids, bought a townhouse, have a dog, and are considered lower middle class, but are happy. They continue this life until retirement. Is this the new American? Do you think this is still the American dream, a realistic American dream in this day and age?
We answering that?
Yeah. Answer yes or no.
No, that's the old American dream.
Yeah, I think that's the old American dream. I think these days are done. And anybody in the chat, feel free to jump in as well. I think that's definitely the old American dream. And we'll dig into the scenarios once I'm done. Scenario
I got a few. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Girl meets guy in college. Both graduate. But guy decides girl should be a housewife. And he be the main breadwinner. Husband works and wife tends to the house, family, tends to the children, all that stuff. They live a very modest, and that's key. They live a very modest and simple life. So no going on social media, none of that stuff. They just a very easy, simple. I just want to have my regular clothes, regular purses. We, maybe a vacation once a year. We live very modest. Is this the current American dream or the old American dream?
For some people, it's the current. You know what I mean? So it just depends on those individuals. But we'll get into the specifics. Okay. But I think it's the old at this point still.
Oh, gotcha. Scenario number 3, and we'll get to your comments in a minute. Kid leaves high school, is looking at career options. College is on the table, but the kid doesn't have any scholarships. So student loans are the only option. The kid anticipates about $100,000 in student loans. Is this new generation of the American dream going to be doing this, or this the old generation?
Old generation.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Last one. Yes, last one. Then we'll talk about it. Kid leaves. This is a really good one. This is for all my people in the chat 30 and under. Kid leaves college, has job offers at all the big companies, all of them. Average job offer coming out 22 years old is $120,000 a year for the company at 22. But a startup company also bids for the student services. They can't promise the same salary, maybe $60,000, but will promise sweat equity and maybe a minor ownership in the company. The kid will be taking a 50% less hit in salary by going with the startup company. Is this the new American dream, or is this still kind of the old American dream?
That's a tough one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think newer. It depends on the individual, but honestly, if you ask me, I'm gonna go with the startup with the sweat equity because that's gonna pay off in the long run. To be honest,
and I believe that's new. I think that's a new generation. I think our generation will take $120,000 at 22 years old and been out of there. But we're gonna dig a little bit deeper in that. Just to go through the comments. Yes, American dream is tougher now because of much less labor market, offshore, and job layoffs. Very good point, OD. Cuzzo, in my opinion, the so-called American dream and who was selling that dream didn't have everyone in mind. Let's keep it real. You're right. So what do you think, Mr. Daily Insight, about these different scenarios? Is there a specific scenario you want to tackle first? I think scenario number 1 with the 2 people who graduate high school, college is not even on the table.
Yeah, it's the old way of thinking, and it depends on essentially kind of where you live, right? So, like for example, I work for a company. I get to kind of see where people, how they live, where they live. Like a place in Montana. Mm-hmm. Montana, a place in Montana. The cost of living is minimalist at that. You don't have your major theme parks. You don't have, all these. The nearest Walmart is an hour away from you. So I think in a place like that, and you have just a regular job working at a hotel, because the hotels are everywhere. People go work in a hotel and kind of just work for that hotel for 30 or 40 years and be happy and be satisfied, get a pension and be cool. You know what I mean? I think for scenario number one, depends on where you are, as far as location wise, you can live a life like that. Living a life like that for scenario number one in New York, you're going to be poor. You're going to be living in, I don't know what type of, it won't be in that location. It won't be in that home. You're going to have to work and hustle and bustle to get some money, because the cost of living is crazy. So it depends on where, and scenario number one, where you're living. But I don't think you still get away with that, to be honest. So
good point. I'm going to take it from this angle, man. This new generation is going to take that scenario number one and use it as toilet paper and flush it down the toilet stool. They are not subscribing to scenario number one. And I'll say this, one thing I'm very proud of, that none of my nieces and nephews have kids, and the oldest is 30, and not one has a child, and I would say all their parents had children in their 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and they're between all of my nieces and nephews between the age of 21 and 30, none of them have a kid, not one. So when I was thinking about this scenario, I had them in mind from the standpoint of, this new generation's not about the whole, I'm gonna have a kid at 19, and we're gonna, let's go work and kind of figure it out. And what was the song by the R&B singer, what Struggle Love, that used to be a thing in our generation. Listen, we're gonna struggle, we're gonna come out on the other side, it's gonna work out in the end, we down bad, rags to riches. This generation is riches to riches. There is no rags. There's no rags in this scenario. The American dream of, turning nothing into something is lost on this generation. And I respect it,
as a collective. I would say as a collective, yes. So certain people still believe in, hey, let me still get with this person, and they don't have anything, so let me build. Because nowadays, most women, or I'm going to say some women, I'm not going to say everybody, they want them a build up. They want them an already made man. You know what I mean? Got the 6 figures, 6'2", nice credit, nice teeth, dresses nice. Guess what? The dude that you looking for is the one that was trying to get at you, but he's a garbage man. But you're looking at the image. You know what I mean? He has aspirations on owning a company. You know what I mean? He just may need to push some little love. You know what I mean? And you're that individual to give it to him. But you looking at the exterior saying, I ain't with that struggle. I'm an already made man. You know what I mean? So
but that's the old American dream. We're gonna start out both together at this level, and then we're gonna grow together. I think a lot of these, but social media, isn't helping with that. A lot of these girls, they're like, nah, even if I'm here, you got to be here. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna build together. It's the old, the rags to riches story is really, an old thing now. What about? Before I leave scenario one, what about the having kids at a very young age? That seemed like that was more so our thing. This new generation is like, I'm not, because I'm not having kids at a young age. I'll have them later on. I want to live my life and go, live my life and have fun.
That's how it was. I didn't have kids young. I understood responsibility, and I said, you know what? I don't want to be tied down. So I waited. And then it's almost like, you look at, writer's cramp, y'all may have some kids older than me, which I didn't want them young because of the responsibility. You know what I mean? So I wanted to live and kind of have fun and then worry about the kids later. So yes, kids nowadays are waiting. You know what I mean? Women 35, 36, 37 having careers. They got their money together, but they ain't got no kids and they looking for a husband. So do you see more of that now compared to what you did in the past? So I agree.
Exactly. Oscar chimed in. That was our parents' thing. Great point. People have kids much later now for good reason. So, yes, God. If we have any people, if Antoine or Kendrick are on the chat, man, chime in. I want you guys to go on the live, man. I think you guys are really. I'd love your input on the American dream as two people who are living it right now. So if you guys are in the chat, man, jump in. Scenario number 2, the college one, where both people went to college. The man said, you know what? I don't think I want you working anymore. Yeah, but I have this engineering degree. Throw that thing in the garbage can. You just tend to the children, may have my meal ready, and that's, and I'll bring in all the money, right? We'll never be bigger than, we'll never maximize our household income, and I'll never be able to take you to Abu Dhabi, and you'll never have a designer purse, but we'll live a great life. And that's because the life my daddy lived, that crap. It's life my dad lived, my granddaddy. My mom and my grandmother never worked, right? That is the old school dream. Why is it that you think these new school women aren't subscribing to that? I mean, these women out here are hustlers, man. You talk to these women now,
Listen,
they're like, yeah, I need 4, 5, 6, strands of income. Forget about being a housewife. Go ahead, man. You got it.
Well, the thing is, and honestly, the cost of living is rising. The economy is not the same. And honestly, you have to go live in other countries to kind of live like you want to live. You know what I mean? Like as if you were living in California. There was a podcast with Rotimi on 85 South Show. You remember Rotimi that played on on Power? Yes. Yeah, he's from, I forgot what country he's from.
Nigeria.
He talked about
Nigeria.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nigeria. So he talked about the living over there. You can go get a house for $85,000 and it'd be a 7-bedroom, 4-bedroom, and you pay no taxes, and you live like a king over there, king and queen. You understand? So he just stating, listen, things are different. I have a teammate. He lives in Medellin, Colombia. Okay. From school, and he's been over there 5 years. He's like, yo, you got to come. You got to come. Cost of living is cheaper. Quality of life is a little bit better. And honestly, it got me thinking, yo, might as well start set up, get some type of house over there and do something different. My barber, he's from, I think, Cuba, and he said, listen, I'm going to DR. I got 2 houses being built in DR right now. You know what I mean? And so kind of that's a new wave. Everybody like the hell with the US. We move. We what I mean? We create new things. And honestly, it's one of those things where it gets you to think. Like it's a unit in the universe. Everybody, the United States is the big American dream. That people come here from other countries just to live. Hey, listen, I don't want to subscribe to that. I want to unsubscribe from that, be in the US and go elsewhere to have a better quality of life. You know what I mean? So, that's the thing, man. So
exactly, and you made a good point where it's like, look, if you're gonna have the old school mindset of the American dream in my head is my wife doesn't work and she just takes care of the children and I bring home the bacon and she just makes a home for me. That's fine and all, but to your point, hey, financially it's a big burden, and also you have to find a woman who's willing to do that. These new age generation, women are like, man, I'm sitting at home just taking care of kids and cooking all day. Forget that.
I'm gonna bring some money home. I got a life. Exactly. So again, you have to know who you're dealing with. And then also you have to make sure you bring home that bacon. So listen, you can you can supply her as well. You know what I mean? Pay her 40, 50 a year as well, so she can kind of do what she need to do and build her up. You know what I mean? So it just depends on the people, man. To be honest.
Third scenario where the guy basically saying, "Hey, I'm going to college," and I it looks like I'm a rack up about $100,000 in student loans. Maybe I ought to just, maybe I should just go in another direction. I think this new generation, that was our American dream. What's so funny? Back when we were coming up, getting financial aid and student loans wasn't even you didn't even think, most people, I was on a scholarship. It wasn't a question. Oh yeah, get student loans. That's it. Now this younger generation is questioning everything. The American dream of going to college and racking up debt is something they're thinking twice about. Like,
it don't make sense. Wait, it don't make sense. You go to school, you rack up this debt, you get out of college, you don't even get a job that's making what you just took out in loans. What was the whole point?
But that was our dream. Remember, that was our dream.
We were sold that dream. That's what we see everybody else doing. I'm going to college, going to college, going to college, going to college. That's just honestly, like college is like a thing to do. Like, what's your reason for going to college? What's your degree? You know what I mean? If it's not going to benefit you, why the hell are you going? Oh, my mom and my parents told me to go. I'm just going just to be going. For what?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Now,
But
honestly, and catch you now, not cut you off.
no,
If I had a
no.
different option, I wouldn't have went to college, even though I got a scholarship. I would not have went. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
that's
Well,
just
these
kind of where I
kids,
am. It's
this new
different.
generation, this new generation is really weighing their options out from the standpoint of it's not just I'm gonna graduate high school, go straight to college. That's it, right? It's okay. Do I want to, do this, work at the same time, maybe go part time to college. Do a little bit at a time. I don't, maybe take 2 classes and then go and then work full time.
Yeah.
They're a lot more strategic than we were when at the end of the day, in our generation, you grew up and you just say, man, my dream is to go to college, period. You know what I mean? There is no ifs, ands, or buts, no weighing anything, no nothing. My dream is to go to college. And I think that's kind of lost, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess it's debatable. I know we've debated that on this podcast a lot, so I don't want to go too much to the college thing too much. But I guess I just want to speak to how this new generation is really thinking strategically as opposed to just following what the American way is. I graduate high school, I go to college,
Yeah, if kids, honestly, and you decide you have to look at it, if kids have come out of school versus having $50,000 worth of debt versus having $50,000 in an account after 4 years, which one would you do? You know what I mean? Makes sense. Now, of course, they have to have a vehicle to get them to that point, but I'll do it all day long. You know what I mean? If I knew after 4 years, I'll have 40 or 50 grand in my bank account versus 40 or $50 worth of debt, even though, of course, I didn't have any debt at all. Still, if I had an option, I would have chose that route. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I would have did. But that's what kids are choosing and looking into. I'm like, my account.
This generation, they're more strategic than we are.
So, yeah, exactly.
And this last one,
and they have more though. So, but anyway,
this last one, man, is hits me a lot harder because I remember I went to Florida A&M University. Shout out to all my Rattlers in there in the building. Can't wait till September 7th. FAMU plays Miami down here, man. We're gonna have a great time for that. I remember, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. I remember when we were at School of Business and Industry, and shout out to all my brothers online on the chat who was at SBI with me. The one thing that people used to always complain about was that they didn't teach us entrepreneurship skills. Like there was no class to teach how to start up a business. It was really just a class on how to work for somebody else. The majority of us were. I was like, I ain't trying to hear that crap. I want to get my degree, and I want somebody to offer me $55,000. And back then, in 04, 05, $55,000 was a lot of money. You thought you were rich, right? I was like, man, I don't forget about all this entrepreneur stuff. Because it was the old American dream. I'm gonna graduate college. I'm gonna go on an interview. Some guy in a fancy suit's gonna shake my hand, offer me a good salary to work for him, right? And I'm gonna take this money. I'm gonna ball out, ball out of control. But when I get to the fourth scenario of guy gets out of college and to offer for a 6-figure salaries to go work for, and the take with the potential of getting this, which is not guaranteed. If we hit it big, and would say, man, I would take the minority ownership, but man, back in our day, you would look at that person like they were crazy. Like, wait a minute, you're gonna offer me half of what these other companies will offer you, and it's a risk. No, get out of here with that. Give me my 120, I'm out. Right.
Instant,
and I feel like
insane. Man, DW mentioned instant gratification.
Yes. We wanted instant gratification. And I don't think that the American way, and when I say American way, I'm putting in quotes, the American way taught us to think about, no, take the sweat equity, take the money, people talk about that now. I always tell people, that's being talked about now. That wasn't being talked about in 02, 03, 04, 05. They talk about sweat equity and startup companies. And, you were just taught, man, if you can make 6 figures, you have made it. You can get killed tomorrow. You have made it in life. You made 6 figures. Nobody was talking about, taking a chance on new companies. It wasn't the American way. It wasn't the American dream. Give me your thoughts.
Listen, but Southwest City, that goes back to financial education. If we're not, if we weren't, we didn't grow up learning this stuff. Say, hey, listen, would you take 100,000 or 60,000 and some potential sweat equity? If you break down the numbers over a 10-year span, you know what I mean? If you broke that down and you did the math on that, boom, you'll say, you know what? Oh, it's good to go with the second company, 60 grand sweat equity. This is what the potential could be. But no one had these conversations. And the black community, we lack in financial literacy and education. That's why, honestly, when it came to what's the name's passing, you know, he had his foundation. So it's kind of like, yo, you're doing some of the stuff, honestly, I wanted to do in school.
AG Leadership. Shout out my brother Albert Gibbs.
Shout out Albert. So something like that was like, that hit home with me. Because I said, you know what? We lack that. We lack financial literacy. And once we understand and learn small basic principle, we'll make better financial choices. That's why Insane DW said, listen, student loan debt is big business. Going to school is big business. If we don't learn how to the balance, know what the difference is between, you know, your APR rate on a credit card and we're in debt, guess what? That's big business. You know what I mean? All these things are big businesses at the end of the day. If half of the United States or the world stop going to colleges, dude, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? That was whole business. You know what I mean? But again, we're not taught these things while we going to school. You got to have a real reason to go to school, be a doctor, lawyer. Yes, everything. Going to school to get a business management degree and have $100,000 in debt, that is fucking pointless, my guy.
I do agree with that.
You know what I mean? It's pointless as shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and here's your thing. I did a company called Pure Pay Legal, or it's called Legal Shield back then.
Yes.
They taught me, and honestly, it was multi-level marketing, but it taught me business management principles. You know what I mean? You get a business, you know, you basically own a business. You have tax benefits. What's tax benefits? Everything that you write off, that goes taxed to that business. Guess what? That's a write-off.
Yes.
I could. Some people go to school for that. I just took got my some experience, learned from some people, and understand those concepts. I didn't have to go to college for that. So that's what I'm saying. Certain things, dude, we don't need college for. We don't.
I agree. And I would say this. So I would say this. You know, again, the college conversation we potted on. You know, it was the, you know, taking it back to the American dream being lost. It was the American dream just to graduate college and even have a job, right? Let alone get out of college and some guy in a funny suit walks up to you and says, hey, I have a company called, you know, I Stay on That Podcast Incorporated, and we sell shirts. I'll offer you 40 grand. No, back then I'll offer you 25 grand a year in salary. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but why don't you join me and take a chance on me? You know, I mean, look, if we all had that foresight, we'd all be billionaires right now because we would have invested in Amazon stock back in the 80s and Apple in the 80s.
Right.
People were just like, you know,
they didn't have the financial foresight, like the potential to look to see that, like, yo, if this cracks and hits big, oh my God, I'll be the instant. No one knew that. You know
but this newer generation, I think they're ahead of us when it comes to that. I think a lot of people this newer generation are taking the startup money, taking the startup company job, taking the 60 grand a year, saying, you know what? I know you offer me 120, I'll take the 60, stay with my parents for a little while, you know, and work with you on the startup company and see what happens. So to that point, I do think that part of the American dream is absolutely lost. Let me stand on it, and I'm gonna let you close it. You know, there are a lot of things with the American dream that we need to flush down the toilets to. I agree. You know, and you know, I think our way of thinking is the reason why, you know, I think a lot of our generation is going to retire a little bit later than we wanted to. I know the statistics show that people are early retiring, but you know, they're early retiring praying that they don't run out of money, right? Which we'll talk about in a podcast one day. But I think some of the things we can keep and some of the things we could throw away, right? The old mentality of I need to work for somebody for my entire life, it should be thrown out the door. If you have the opportunity to start up your own thing, go and do it. Especially if you have if you have very low overhead, meaning you're living with your parents, and you can take risks.
Best opportunity to do it.
Yeah, that's the perfect time to do it, to take a risk and go out there and find different streams of revenue, find what you love to do. Because once you get to the point where you got a mortgage, you're stuck. You know, so I would say this, you know,
not stuck, but I get your point. But go ahead.
Yes. Put stuck in quotes. We'll put stuck in quotes, right? I would say this: there are certain parts of the American dream that I think we need to hold on to, right? Hey, there's nothing wrong at all with, like in one of my examples, there's really nothing wrong at all with saying, look, at the end of the day, I don't want to go to college. Me and my girlfriend just want to start our life right away. We'll just get a job. She'll work at, she'll be the assistant manager at some place. I'll be the assistant manager at some place. We'll get an apartment. Yeah. And we'll grow together, slowly but sure. There's nothing wrong with that. I think people crap on that because social media tells you, oh, you're poor. You're not balling. Look at me. I'm in, Dubai, and I've been here. It's my 5th time here, and then you start looking at those people like, why don't I have that life? So I think there's certain part of the American dream that we don't need to do away with. But do I think overall it is lost? Yes, it is. Shout out to all my people who are 30 and under, man. Hey, keep grinding, keep doing it, keep pushing it forward, and keep pushing my generation backwards. And you guys keep pushing things forward.
He said, keep pushing our generation backwards.
Yes, keep pushing us backwards. What do you stand on?
What I stand on this, man, you made some valid, great points, and I just want to thank everybody that came in the chat and showed their support and gave their insight. Like I said, y'all want to join, make sure y'all join in, hit that link, and go from there. Now, the American dream, is it lost? Yes, the old American dream. And my mom, shout out to Mom Dukes, she only taught me what she knew. So she told me, son, go to school, son, get a degree, son, graduate, son, get a good job, son, live and work to be 30, 40 years down the road in your field and essentially retire and have a family. That's all she knew. But growing up, I got around some different people that didn't think like my mom. They thought a little different, business ownership. And me being a youngster with my grandfather, hustling was always in the family, no matter in that format. My granddad never worked for anyone. He never worked for anyone.
Nice.
So being a youngster, I didn't even understand that. He always worked for someone. So I had those basic entrepreneurial skill set. I just needed them to be in, what's the word? Somebody need to work with me.
Yeah, really. Yeah, develop them,
cultivate the word.
All that stuff. Yeah,
correct.
Yes.
Exactly. So once that's cultivated, I got with the prepaid legal and all the other things, it started to get cultivated. So I've always had a plan B, a plan C on top of my plan A. Always been my thing, never's going to die out, right? So I would say you can keep the American dream, but just have a new adopted principles when it comes to it. So a new American dream now should be bounce around and have 2 or 3 jobs every year. Yes. That's a new American dream. If you have a startup company that's going to pay you half of the salary, but have some sweat equity, some stocks and bonds, boom, do that as well.
Yes.
Other way, maybe choose a degree that, like, let's say network, Secure Plus certificate, 8-9 months, get with a company, make cybersecurity, make $120,000 instead of going for 4 years. Boom. Those are the new American ways that are being adopted. Now, we were sold the American dream, South Florida said.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We were sold it. Nowadays, the powers that be, they have the American dream of what it means to be successful and be rich and to be this and to be that. They just sold us a version of it that was just full of shit, to be honest.
Yes.
For lack of better words. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's all we knew. So as we age and get older, we need to teach one, reach one. You know what I mean? So I believe in that. So I'm teaching other people that I can come into contact with if they don't know any better. And guess what? Whoever learns it, learns it. Whoever doesn't, doesn't. But this new American dream, it is old. Because my mom taught it me, and I'm not teaching my kids the same. I'm not telling you that. If you don't want to go to college, we got to have a business plan. You know what I mean? We had to have different things that you want to do that's going to make you money. So you can learn to fend for yourself. So you don't have to work for nobody. Because those working a 9-to-5 job, it's not happening. I'm already creating some LLCs in their name.
Nice.
So, and establishing a business. So guess what? When they get older and they learn a few things, y'all ain't going working at no 995, 725. No, for what? Well, I'm teaching you that. You know what I mean? So
good stuff. I love it.
That's honestly what I stand on. Yes, I do agree with you. Old American dream is old. You have to adopt the principles. College ain't always the answer. You know what I mean? College is a waste of time for the most part. I stand on that for sure.
Well, hey guys, we appreciate everybody. We had a litany of people being our third member, carrying us, helping us through this one today, man. We hope you enjoyed the pod. Thank you for all your comments. You know, take we're gonna be the full episode should be posted as soon as we're done, and we're gonna go in there, update the name, so you guys don't think it's a rerun of the last episode. But we're gonna make sure that happens. And we appreciate it, man. Share it with your friends. We had some good conversations today. We had some good game. Let people know, man. They're talking about good stuff. But hey, next time we see you guys will be in 2 weeks, man. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. You got big plans, Mr. Daily Insight? You gonna come down to South Florida, hang out a little bit? Or you stay in Old Town?
We'll see, man. So I do have the funny thing. I got to get down, and I have some other podcasters that are doing some good things. They run a podcast in Miami, so I might come down there, do the podcast and go from there. Cool. So hopefully I can kind of air it from here. We'll work it out with them, which you guys can watch me live, and it'll be from here. Not gonna have me chime in. So we'll see on that. I'll let you.
E, what up? What's up, E? Man, you didn't come. You just chiming in now. Easy in the building. Thank you, Joe, man.
Hey,
thank
listen.
you for paying attention.
Hey,
Thank you for joining the show,
man. Is worldwide. So he's worldwide, bro. You doing some amazing things. I'm jealous. I'm living like you in different countries. You know what I mean? So salute to you, guy. I can't wait to see you next time, bro.
Hey, shout out to all the Dallas.
Have to come to eat.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all my Dallas people too, man. Mavericks and Stars putting Dallas on the map, man. I gotta give y'all props. Shout out to y'all. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, man. Thank you for joining the show, man. We appreciate it.
All right, see